This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Like we're joined by middleweight Josh Adewale today. Josh, before we talk about boxing, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad, to be honest. What about you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. That's always a polite start. Now, look, it's been just over a year since we saw you in the ring. As I said to you off camera a second ago, I've seen you been keeping busy in the gym across social media. What you been up to in that time that's elapsed since then, though? Tell us a bit about that.
Um, I've been I've been training since my last fight. I've not really stopped training, but I've had a few things to take care of outside of boxing, and that's about it. Just tried to stay ready and stuff. Just been doing what we can.
Is it ever difficult when it does go on for so long, like I say, over a year, and you're just ticking away, just sort of waiting for that day? Does it ever become difficult to keep yourself ticking over, keep motivated?
Not really. It's just a matter of not overtraining. Um, Obviously, it's been a year since my last fight. You just don't want to do too much. If for the whole 12 months I'd been training like I had a fight coming up for the whole 12 months, you'd obviously overtrain, and mentally it would be draining. So you just have to hold yourself back sometimes and work smarter.
No, I'm not going to dwell on it too much because we do have stuff to talk about what could be coming up for you. But just to go back to that night, look, for yourself and James Hawley that night that we saw you, it was a step-up fight for both of you. There was a bit of needle as well in the build-up. I'm sure you look at it now as a great learning experience. What exactly did you learn from that fight when you look back now?
Um, it well, it was an experience, and there was quite a few things I learned to take away from it. Obviously, it was the first time I'd done 6 rounds. Not that it was a big thing for me, but I've ticked that off the list. I've done 6 rounds. We were both unbeaten at the time, so if I come across someone say next who's undefeated, it won't be something new to me. So I've got the rounds in the bank. And like you said, in the lead up, there was a lot of back and forth and stuff. So it's nothing new to me, all that sort of stuff.
Now, when you do come off your first career defeat, I just wanted to ask you a bit about what that was like for you to deal with. How soon were you almost over it? Did it take a while to process? Were you okay afterwards?
Um, I asked for the rematch straight away. I think maybe the same day, to be honest. But and I'd asked for it months later, and obviously I got told it can't happen. Obviously he's not with MTK anymore, and a few other things. So I got told it can't happen. But yeah, I weren't okay about it straight away. But it didn't take too long. It is what it is, sort of thing. I think he got given it by 1 round. So it's not like I stepped up against an unbeaten fighter and got knocked out in the first round or something. Do you know what I mean? Some people think it should have went the other way. Not that I'm going to go into that now, but it was just one of them things. I just can't afford to have another fight and it be left like that. Do you know what I mean? So I've learnt from it.
That's it. Now, like you said there, it was a close fight. I think it was 58-56 in the end, as you said. Both of you credit step up, took the fight despite being both unbeaten. That fight could have happened down the line. We've seen domestic fighters do that before and both go on to achieve good things on their own separate journeys. Do you think there's too much emphasis put on protecting that by some young fighters these days? Do you think taking those kind of fights early will just help you learn rather than just maybe going to 10-11-0 against journeyman?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it depends on your age, experience, ambitions, loads of things. I'm only 26, but if I was 5 years younger and things like that, maybe you could do things a bit different. But the recent shows I've seen, there's been loads of upsets anyway. So some people will get to 10-0 and then have a step up and lose as soon as they step up anyway. So it's just one of them things, really.
Now, Josh, I wanted to come on to something I saw on your social media when I stopped by. You'd uploaded a video of you in the gym doing some sparring as well with HEATED Reavell. Now,
Yeah.
I saw what happened at the end of the video. It was a bit of a confrontation. It got quite heated in there. For those that haven't seen it, can you just explain what on earth happened between you two in sparring?
Um, I've known Kevin for a little while. I've sparred with him in lead up to my last fight, so a year ago, and Gareth Lawrence, his coach, contacted me the day before the spar, and obviously Gareth's been in my corner for all my pro fights, so I get on with Gareth. He's cool, and Gareth contacted me, I think at about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and said Kevin had sparring arranged, and the person let him down, and so they said, could I spar Kevin and come to them in Essex? And I said, yeah, no worries. How many rounds can he do? And they said 4 rounds. And I said I wanted 6 rounds. So I said, could we do a couple on the pads after, or someone else jumping for 2? And Gareth said, yeah, no worries. And then I got to the gym, and they were saying about fighters shouldn't dictate whether they turn up to sparring or not, and just saying the fighter should dictate stuff, which I agree with. And then we done 3 rounds, and then Kevin got out. And I obviously said to Gareth, you shouldn't let the fighter dictate how many rounds he's doing. And Gareth obviously told him to get back in the ring. And Kevin didn't want to get back in the ring. He said he couldn't do any more rounds. So obviously I thought, I didn't drive to Essex and back for him to get out of the ring after 3 rounds. So it was just more of a respect thing. I've never had a problem with Kevin before. We've done rounds with each other before. But I just thought, I've drove all the way to Essex to do you lot a favour in a sense. I weren't actively looking for sparring, or I hadn't contacted them for sparring. So obviously I was willing to help them out last minute sort of thing. And I'd already had training planned for the morning. So I moved my things around to travel to them. And then he couldn't have the decency to finish off what he had agreed to do. So yeah, just he obviously got a bit defensive about it all.
Now, where was it all left now? Do you think there's a chance this could be settled in the ring? I know you got the same promoter. It would seem pretty easy to make, right? Where does this all go to now?
I gave Lee a ring after the spar, and because Kevin had been saying he wants to fight me after the spar. He said he'd fight me. He thinks he's better than me. So he said about contacting Lee. So I rang Lee after the spar, and Lee said, funnily enough, he'd just received a message from Kevin, and it was saying that he wants to fight me as well. So yeah, we'll just have to see if it happens.
Is that definitely what you want next? No tune-ups, nothing like that? You want to go straight in at that fight if possible?
I'm not the one calling for the fight, but if it can be made, which it should be able to be made, then yeah, I won't shy away from it.
Well, hopefully we can see that one next. Now, Josh, for you as well, as we mentioned, has been that bit of time away from the ring. Is it about activity for you when you do manage to get back in? Is it not about just having 1, but then 2 and 3 fights this year? How many times do you want to be out this year?
I want to be out as often as possible, but it just depends with this whole COVID and what's going on, how many times I can get out. But if I could get out within the next month or 2, and then have a few more, it'd be good to get out 3, 4, however many times possible. But it's obviously not down to me. Otherwise, I'd be fighting all the time.
Josh, while I've got you here, I just want to ask you a couple other things about some British middleweights we've got around at the minute. We have got a brilliant fight coming up, Bentley and Felix Cash. We were wondering for a while if that fight was ever going to come to fruition. Frank Warren won the purse bids. It is going ahead. British and Commonwealth titles. Brilliant fight by all means. Can you pick a winner in that fight? Who do you give to the edge to and why?
Um, I've spoken about this fight. I can't really put my finger on who would win. Um, I've bet on boxing and made bets on things previously. I wouldn't want to put my money on this fight. Um, I've done rounds with both of them, and I've known both of them for quite a few years, and yeah, they're just both quality. It's they've got two different styles. Obviously, they're both good at different things, but so it'd be hard to. I think it depends on who's had a better camp and who turns up on the night, because sometimes people can be good in the gym or turn up for every other fight, and then sometimes people will have a big fight that they're meant to look good in, and you just don't quite see what you expected to see. Do you know what I mean?
I find it interesting you say that you shared rounds with both of them, Josh. From your own perspective, then, from the rounds you've done with them, away from everything else, what we've seen on the TV and stuff like that, what are their best attributes, both of them guys, Denzel and Felix? What would you say they both do well when you're in the ring with them?
Um, um, with Denzel on TV and in his fights, obviously, and even in the amateurs, we fought some of the same boys, me and Denzel. So I know he can hit hard, and obviously his record speaks for itself. But he probably doesn't show it as much on TV, or he hasn't been in a position to yet too much. But he's elusive. He's hard to hit, and yeah, he knows his way around the ring. He does a lot of rounds. Do you know what I mean? You know, one of them. He sort of reminds me of like an American sort of fighter. Like he's always in the gym. Not that the rest of us are, but I don't know. He just stays in the ring, does rounds after rounds. He's slippery, and he's sharp. Obviously, too sharp. He's sharp. He's slippery. Yeah, and Felix can punch as well, and he's got good angles. Obviously, I think he must have had 70 or 80 plus fights in the amateurs, which is a lot more than Denzel had. So Felix is really well schooled. Angles, even him, the fights he's had on TV, he probably hasn't looked as good as. It's hard to show your full potential when you're thrown in with certain opponents, but Felix has got good angles and head movement. He can punch, and they can both basically do everything. But they've obviously got them few things that they can do better than each other, probably in certain areas. But we'd have to see on fight night.
Well, lovely. That's whet the appetite even more for that one, Josh. Now, Britain theoretically could have a new world champion at middleweight in the not too distant future. Liam Williams is finally getting his chance against Demetrius Andrade. The wait's finally over for him. He's getting a shot at world honours. How do you see Liam faring? Do you give him a good chance against Demetrius Andrade? People are saying he's a real live underdog.
Yeah, I think he's got a far better chance than people are making out. Hasn't he won every fight at middleweight by stoppage or something? Yeah, he's yeah. I think he's got a good chance anyway. Since that Smith fight, he hasn't disappointed since that Smith fight. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. They're two completely different styles as well.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to let you go in a second, Josh, but I'm going to leave the final word to you. We've seen that little bit of sparring footage. We heard that you both want to fight. Lee Eaton's been a busy man on the phone. I'll leave the final word to you. If Kevin happens to be watching this, is there anything you would say?
I'd just say I'm not here to badmouth Kevin. That's not what I'd do. But Kevin's not a bad fighter. But it's just a matter of time to see if he wants it as much as he was screaming and shouting after the sparring. Obviously, he had a lot to say. I think you hear him, even when I'm sparring, I think you hear him in the background. So it's just whether he's keeping that same sort of talk he was on the day of the sparring, really. But people may think, may look at it, if the fight does get made, people may think what you think and think, don't I want to tune up after the last one? But yeah, no, I don't mind getting straight back in, and it's not uneducated in that sense either. There won't be any way the fight would get made and any mistakes would be being made this time around.
All right, well, Josh, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I'm sure we'll catch you when you've got official fight news as well. But cheers for speaking on Boxing Social. Best of luck with training.